Hi, this is Mardy once again and welcome to my channel. Hello mga kababayan! Welcome back to At Home with Mardy. Or if you're new here, kumusta and welcome aboard. Today, we're diving into something super fascinating, the 8 amazing facts about religion in the Philippines before the Spanish came. Yes, before Christianity, our ancestors already had a rich spiritual world full of anitos, babaylans, diwatas, and more. This is a part of our history that many Filipinos don't learn in school, and you definitely don't want to miss it. If you love learning about Filipino culture, history, and hidden truths, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more mind-blowing content. And let me know in the comments, have you heard of any of these beliefs before? Or is this your first time learning about them? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. At para updated kayo sa mga susunod kong videos, please click the bell notification below. At sana po, don't skip the ads and please watch until the end of my video. Number 1, animism was widespread in pre-colonial Philippines. Before colonization, Filipinos practiced animism, a belief system where nature was seen as alive with spirits. Trees, rivers, mountains, animals, and even household items were believed to be inhabited by supernatural beings known as Anito or Diwata. Anito were spirits of ancestors or nature, while Diwata were often more powerful beings, guarding forests, rivers, or mountains. People believed these spirits could bring blessings or misfortune, so they performed rituals and offered sacrifices, from food and drinks to animal offerings to gain their favor. Each community had its own set of beliefs shaped by their environment. For example, fisher folk revered sea spirits, while mountain dwellers honored guardian spirits of the land. Spiritual leaders like the Babaylan or Katalunan led ceremonies for healing, harvest, or protection. This form of animism was deeply tied to daily life. Nature was not just a resource, it was sacred, alive, and deserving of respect. It guided how early Filipinos interacted with the world around them and shaped their identity long before foreign religions arrived. Number 2, Babaylan were powerful spiritual leaders. In pre-colonial Philippine societies, the Babaylan held a vital role as spiritual leaders, healers, and cultural guardians. Known by various names across regions such as Balian, Katalunan, or Mumbaki, they were the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. Most Babaylan were women, but there were also feminine men called Asog or Bayug, who were equally respected. Their gender fluidity was accepted, even honored, because it was believed they had a deeper spiritual connection. The Babaylan performed a wide range of important duties. They led rituals, offered sacrifices to spirits, healed the sick with herbs and chants, interpreted dreams, and communicated with ancestors and nature spirits. In many communities, they held influence equal to or even greater than that of the Datu. Far more than just shamans, the Babaylans were central to maintaining harmony between people, nature, and the spirit world, making them some of the most powerful and respected figures in early Filipino society. Number 3, the Islam arrived before Christianity. Long before the arrival of Spanish colonizers in the 16th century, Islam had already taken root in the southern Philippines. It was introduced as early as the 14th century through Arab and Malay traders, missionaries, and scholars who sailed across Southeast Asia. Islam first spread in Sulu Archipelago and later in Mindanao, where it deeply influenced local culture, politics, and governance. Over time, powerful Islamic states emerged, most notably the Sultanate of Sulu and the Sultanate of Maguindanao, which were established well before the Spanish set foot in the region in 1521. The sultanates are organized political system, thriving trade networks, and a strong Islamic faith that still endures today. Islam's arrival marked a major shift in the spiritual and cultural landscape of the southern Philippines long before Christianity would begin to spread across the islands. Number 4, syncretism was common in pre-colonial and colonial Philippines. Rather than fully abandoning their indigenous beliefs, early Filipinos often blended new religions, like Islam or Christianity, with their traditional animist practices. This process of syncretism allowed old and new belief system to coexist and even complement one another. When Islam spread in the south or Christianity took hold during Spanish colonization, many local rituals, symbols, and customs were retained. For example, indigenous offerings to spirits or ritual healings practices were often performed alongside prayers to Allah or Christian saints. This fusion gave rise to distinct religious expressions, such as folk Catholicism, where Catholic saints are venerated much like ancestral spirits, and rituals reflect both Christian doctrine and pre-colonial spirituality. Syncretism helped preserve Filipino cultural identity even under foreign influence, and its legacy is still visible in many religious festivals, healing traditions, and everyday practices across the Philippines today. Number 5, pre-colonial cosmology was deep and complex. Pre-colonial Filipinos had a rich and layered understanding of the universe, which they believed was divided into three interconnected realms: the sky world or langit, the earth world or kalibutan, and the underworld or kasanaan. The sky world was the realm of gods, deities, and celestial beings associated with creation, fate, and natural forces like the sun, moon, and storms. The earth world represented the physical plane where humans, animals, and plants live out their daily lives. Beneath it lay the underworld or kasanaan, a spiritual realm connected to the dead, ancestral spirits, and other supernatural entities. Unlike Western concepts of hell, this underworld wasn't inherently evil but was seen as a powerful and sacred space that demanded reverence. This three-tiered cosmology shaped how early Filipinos understood life, death, and nature. It influenced burial customs, spiritual rituals, and the relationship with the environment, seen not just as a resource but as part of a larger sacred order. Number 6. No central religion, beliefs varied by ethnic groups. In pre-colonial Philippines, there was no single unified religion across the islands. Instead, each ethno-linguistic group had its own unique sets of gods, rituals, and creation stories shaped by their environment and culture. Among the Tagalogs, the supreme deity was Bathala, the creator god. The Visayan honored deities like Kaptan, god of the sky, and Magwayin, goddess of the sea and the afterlife. In the northern highlands, the Ifugao developed an intricate spiritual system with hundreds of deities and ancestor spirits, each tied to nature, agriculture, and everyday life. This diversity reflects the archipelago's rich cultural tapestry where religion was deeply local and intimately connected to the land and community. Number 7. Sacred objects and symbols were central to worship. Pre-colonial Filipinos used various sacred objects and symbols in their spiritual practices, believing these items held power or were vessels for communication with the spirit world. Among the Ifugao, the most iconic sacred object was the bulul, carved wooden statues representing rice gods. These figures were placed in granaries or ritual spaces and were believed to ensure fertility, protection, and bountiful harvest. Offerings known as halad in Visayan or handog in Tagalog were essential part of rituals. These could include food, wine, betel nut, and even animal sacrifices given to spirits or deities during ceremonies to ask for blessings, healing, or guidance. The type of offering often depended on the occasion and the spirit being honored. Among the Tibuli people of Mindanao, sacredness was also expressed through tinalak, a beautifully woven abaca cloth. Tinalak patterns are believed to be revealed to the weavers, often women, through dreams sent by the spirits. The cloth plays a vital role in rituals related to birth, marriage, and death, symbolizing spiritual connection and cultural identity. These objects were just art or tradition, they were living parts of the spiritual world, deeply woven into the everyday and ceremonial life of early Filipino communities. Number 8. Rituals were deeply integrated into daily life. In pre-colonial Philippine societies, rituals were not separate ceremonies but woven into the fabric of everyday life. Whether preparing the field for rice planting, embarking on a journey, building a house, or going to war, communities perform specific rites to seek blessings and protection from spirits and deities. These rituals were believed to ensure success, safety, and harmony with both the natural and supernatural worlds. Public festivals, traditional dances, and chants were often imbued with spiritual significance, serving as a way to honor God, celebrate the cycles of nature, or mark important communal events. These cultural expressions were more than entertainment. They were acts of devotion and communication with the spirit realm. Among the most elaborate were death rituals, which reflected profound respect for ancestors. These rites helped guide the souls of the deceased safely to the spirit world and maintained a lasting bond between the living and the dead. Ceremonies could involve feasts, prayers, and offerings, emphasizing the belief that the ancestors continued to influence and protect the community even after death. Through these varied rituals, early Filipinos maintained a constant connection with the divine, integrating spiritually seamlessly into all aspects of life. Hello again mga kababayan! Have you heard stories about anitos, babaylans or diwatas from your elders or community? Share them below. And what other topics about Filipino culture or history should I explore next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more untold stories of Filipino history and culture. Daghang salamat! Thank you very much for watching. And according to Albert Einstein, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Shout out and thanks to the comment of Gangstas. Maraming salamat po. Special thanks to my sources from Google, photos credit to and inspirational quote credits to MissTPositive.com.